So everyone, my name is Nikki Aiello. I am a life transition and recovery coach, and I am based here in Denver, Colorado. My many years of kind of training and teaching began with yoga, and I still teach yoga, but I have a lot of specialized training in yoga for mood management, trauma-informed yoga, and then individualized yoga therapy. So I incorporate that into my coaching. But really, it's very holistic, which is why I resonate so much with Carolina and her work. So it's mind, body, spirit, it's everything. It's nutrition, it's exercise, it's lifestyle, it's what you do for fun, who you hang out with, just your general sort of, it's lifestyle. I'm in large sense a lifestyle coach, and I specialize definitely in working with people in recovery, not only from substance abuse, but also any kind of life quake of sorts. So a divorce, a job loss, a dramatic move, anything that's just gotten you rattled and you kind of need to reassess your priorities and kind of restructure your life. Even, good shakeups like retirement or, anything like that. So that's what I do. Carolina and I met a couple years ago now at a public speaking conference. What was it called, Carolina?
Reach Live in Denver.
Reach
It was
Live.
A year ago. It'll be a year in, was it January?
Oh, it's only been a year. You even better.
A year, or maybe it was spring. It was spring. It'll be a year in spring.
That sounds about right.
Or maybe it was a year this past spring. That's what it was.
Yes, yeah, a year this past spring. So we met here in Denver. She obviously made the trek out here for the conference, and I was so excited that she came down and sat next to me this one morning, because you're always just like, you're coming in every day and you're like, well, where am I going to sit? Who do I want to kind of like, talk to or whatever. So she came up to me and we were just like fast friends, and just realized how much cool stuff that we had in common. And we were really inspired by each other. At least I was inspired by her. We both kind of pulled out our oils, and it was just really fantastic.
Geeked out. We were like, oh my gosh, we had so much fun together.
We did geek out. And Carolina is very, she's quite accomplished. So I'm super excited that she's had the time and space in her life to join me today and talk to you guys and share her story about, just share her story and her expertise and her guidance. Today's interview is going to be centered around immunity. We're definitely going to go into nutrition, lifestyle, and essential oils, and whatever else comes up. I will read just a little bit of her bio, and then I'm going to let her go into talking more about her story. So just kind of professionally, Carolina Marrelli is a certified holistic health coach, plant-based medicine and essential oil instructor, and president of Equibalance Health. Her signature coaching program has helped countless women to completely turn the tide on not only their state of health, but their overall quality of life. And that's really what you and I are all about. So
all about it, girl.
So awesome. Welcome. And Carolina, you have, well, tell us, where are you and what is your, your life like today? And you can, and then, I would love for you to just briefly go into, kind of what brought you into this, after your pregnancy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you again so much for having me. I am so excited to be here with you today, and so excited to help support your community and introduce you to my community.
Me too.
So I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina with my husband and two sons, Justice and Noah. And we actually just moved here at the end of May. And it's been quite the ride. The moving trucks were at my house the day of my son's pre-K4 graduation. We arrived in gym clothes and sweaty to the car line drive-through graduation ceremony.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
So yeah, we made a lifestyle change, and as you and I both work within, helping people to have healthier lifestyles, where you live plays such a huge part in your happiness and your stress level and your overall quality of life. So we made a lifestyle move, and we're super happy in our new hometown, and getting to be outside more because it's not blazing hot all the time is wonderful. So we're really enjoying that. So that's where I am. I'm 43 years old. I've been healthy my whole life, and it was a health crisis that I had after my son was born. My second son was born, that led me into the work that I'm doing today, and why I'm even here with you, and why I even met you in Denver, because I wouldn't have met you in Denver had I not gotten sick and gotten this call to speak. So
Wow. So tell us a little bit about that health crisis and yeah, just kind of give us some
Yeah.
background on that.
Yeah. So I had been in full-time music ministry for 13 plus years. I was scheduled to go out on tour with my band about like 3, 4 months after my son was born. And instead I found myself touring a hospital ward. Instead, I went septic with group B strep, and that was followed by a C. difficile infection from all the antibiotics that I was given to save my life from the group B strep. So I have great respect for Western medicine, but like as much as it saved me, it also almost killed me because C. difficile is an antibiotic-induced infection that you can get.
Yeah.
If any of you watching this,
You're the second very influential person in my life who almost died from C. diff, hospital related. That's where she got it, and then nutrition
awful.
saved her. So
Yeah, it's
another.
awful. So I remember laying in that hospital bed and being like, God, how are you going to turn this for my good? Because I just don't believe, for me, like I believe everything is divinely orchestrated, and I knew something good would come from it. And I didn't realize, it was going to be a 2.5 year recovery, but everything worked out so beautifully. And I found out because of C. difficile, you have a very, very, very high um, relapse rate for anyone who takes an antibiotic again in the future. So for me, the doctor looked at me and he's like, number one, you're lucky to be alive. And number two, if your kids get strep throat, what's an easy fix for them could send you into the hospital, and next time you're not so lucky. So you've got to do everything possible to keep yourself healthy. So I ended up going on this crazy journey that I did not expect to be going on. I was supposed to be out rocking out on my guitar with my band, not like going back to school for health coaching, but I ended up, I had to completely change my diet. I did all the things. Like I was learning Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic, acupuncture, biophoton therapy. I did all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just so desperate to feel better because like I've been so active my whole life, and I was like, my day looked like laying on the couch, and my goal every day was to get up off the couch, walk outside to my mailbox, which was on my street, and come back, and I'd be on the couch the rest of the day. So for somebody who's so active, this was like the most awful thing to be going through. So
I can't
it was
imagine.
in this time that I fell in love with all things nutrition and essential oils and all these things. And I was like, wow, is there anything like a career that I could do that would incorporate a communications degree, ministry certifications, like all the things, right? What can I do now incorporating health and wellness into this? And that's when I found out about health coaching. So I went to 2 different schools at the same time to get certified in plant-based medicine, which is just a really fancy word for essential oils, and holistic health coaching. And I specialize in helping women who are, it sounds cliche, but sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. People, women who are feeling yucky they just feel yucky in their bodies, and they have no energy, and they've got a lot of digestive issues. So that's where I really specialize. And I love it because I get to see people come back to life before my eyes all the time. And it's absolutely
So cool.
awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So that's how I got into this work. I was called to it. You're just called to this stuff. You don't pick it, it picks you.
No, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I just got the goosebumps. Isn't it so interesting how so many women, people in general, but you brought up women, the whole idea of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, how it's just kind of the norm these days, really. And a lot of people think it's a luxury to go get help and and to feel better.
Yeah.
Like it's actually our natural right in our natural state that we should be in, is health and wellness and energy.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, we've got this warped sort of cultural idea that this is just how it is because, we live in a fast-paced world and, this is our society, blah, blah, blah. One of my favorite quotes is, it's no measure of health to be well-adjusted in a profoundly sick society.
Wow, that's good.
And I think a lot of people, we're just adjusted and we just kind of subscribe and are okay with it because,
what's interesting is I have a lot of women that I put through the elimination diet and because they need it, not to lose weight. It's simply like, I need to get to the root of why everything I'm eating is making me feel sick. Okay.
Yeah.
And the common comment that I get from women is, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I felt so bad all the time.
Right.
Because once you start feeling better, it's foreign. When your set point is gas and bloating and headaches and fatigue, and all of a sudden it's gone, you're like, whoa. But
Totally.
you get used to it. You just don't even realize it's a problem.
You need the contrast. You need that total contrast.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue. I want to get specifically into immunity in a moment, but why don't you kind of give us all an idea of what it's like to work with you?
Wow. Okay. So, well, thank you for asking that question. I work with people in different ways because not everybody needs the same help. So I have people that I will tell, like, I'll do a transformation session with them, and I'm like, you know what you really need right now is this ebook that I have. Or what you need right now is just one session. You've fallen off the wagon. You just need a little bit of help getting back on. Maybe that person's already more holistic minded, or they just need somebody to just help them make some tweaks here and there. And then I have women that they need help and they need need longer term accountability. So I'll have women I'll put through a VIP health transformation program with me. It's a 5-module program over 3 months. Sometimes I'll condense it down just depending on the kind of help they need. I've got a client that worked with me for 9 months and we completely transformed her health. She was a ticking time bomb when I started working with her. I worked in conjunction with her doctor and we got her in such a better place. So again, it could be an ebook, it could be a DIY program I put you through, it could be one session, it could be 5, it could be 10. It just depends on what your needs are. So that's how I work. I really try to point people in the direction that's best suited for what their needs are, because not everybody is cookie cutter. You can't do one size fits all with health. It just doesn't work. Yeah. So
it really is just anybody who's like, I don't feel good, and maybe I don't know why, but I hear that you can make me feel better, and they come to you.
Yeah.
Kinda. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So what are some of your you named a few things like an ebook and your module program. What does it consist of?
So my module program is, well, it's 5 modules, and I basically have to teach people how, like, from the ground up, how to eat properly, how to understand nutrition. I do not put people on diets. Like, by law, I'm not a registered dietitian, so by law, I can't say to you, like, oh, you need to eat on this diet, okay? What I can do by law is teach you different dietary theories. I'll listen. I do a lot of asking. I ask a lot of questions and listen a lot.
Yeah.
Seeing kind of like where you're at. And then I go back to what I know, and it's like, okay, you know what? This way of eating may be really good for you. Why don't we try this? And we'll make tweaks here and there. So a lot of it's focusing on the nutrition aspect, teaching people how to eat. I do a lot of mindset work, believe it or not, because most people have this pre-programmed thing going on, and no matter what I say to them, if I do not work with them on their mindset, everything I say is going to go in one ear and out the other. So we do a lot of that work. We talk a lot about nutrition, the basic kind of things, the building blocks of health and wellness. So sleep, movement. I do some essential oil education with people. I use it as a tool in my practice, and then some other things as well. But I give a lot of education because we haven't been educated as a society. We were taught, you and I are in the same generation. We're taught the food pyramid, but the food pyramid is killing people, or it's gotten better now, but that's what we were taught. My clientele are 35 to like 55, and so we have to do a lot of like reshaping. It's a lot of like I do a lot of accountability and encouragement. So I'll have my clients are checking in with me constantly. I'm checking in with them, like, hey, how's it going? It's a lot of motivating. It's a lot of tweaking. It's a lot of, again, reteaching. Some women, when I was in Miami, I would take, we could do this, but pre-COVID, I would take women to the grocery store to teach them how to shop.
For sure. No, I've done that too.
You don't even know what to look for.
No.
So it's a lot of different things, but it's, you're starting off with a solid education that's module based, but with room for tweaking for that individual need of what each person has. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, okay. For sure. Tell us about, let's go into a little bit about oils.
Oh, I love essential oils, girl. Oh,
I mean, I know it's such a broad subject. I don't even really know where to start, but I don't know. Do you feel like you know where to start with it?
Yeah, totally. So I think the thing is most people have no idea that like this bottle could change your life.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know what essential oils really are. So essential oils are plant-based extracts and they work on a cellular level in your body. So if you can imagine when you're getting ready to go out on a hot date and all of a sudden it starts raining, you know, okay, high heels maybe not be the best thing. I might need to put on rain boots because it's flooding outside. I probably need a rain jacket and an umbrella. Or if you're like me, I put a trash bag over my mohawk so it like stays. Because any like little
That's your
spritz, it'll be
secret.
like, so an essential oil tells your cells what to do, and it will tell your DNA whether to up or down regulate. So there are essential oils that can help boost your immune system. They can help you with headaches, with digestive issues. I mean, you name it, there's an essential oil for there. Like the saying goes, there's an oil for that.
Amazing.
I could go on and on. You tell me what you want.
Well, okay, so here's a little bottle. Now what?
So now what? So the key is to number one, know what you're using it for. So you need to be educated in it. Just because it's natural and plant-based does not mean you throw caution to the wind. It is plant-based medicine. So just like for me with my kids, you know, I do have some over-the-counter medications for them when they absolutely need it, but mostly it's herbal tinctures and, you know, all the homeopathic remedies. But, you know, I keep these out of the sun. I keep them inside in the cool. I dilute depending on the size of the person that's going on. Some essential oils you can take internally. Some essential oils are meant to be used externally, so topically, or, you know, use like I have here in my office. Right now I've got wild orange and cassia blowing. Okay. This is the fastest way to get essential oils into your system is by doing aromatherapy. So just like when you have surgery and they put the mask over your face, you're knocked out like that. It's the same thing with essential oils. It does the same thing.
It's the same thing with cannabis.
Fast.
Yeah, anything, you know, like that's why people smoking it, you know, whatever source they're going to do that is the fastest way. And the topical is the slowest. Internally is in between.
Yeah. So, you know, again, depending on what you're using the essential oil for, you're going to use it differently. But I will tell you, most essential oils, you use it topically up and down the spine or on the soles of the feet. And, you know, for the people watching that are familiar with, you know, like if you do acupuncture and you've got the meridian points, you know, and then you have, what do you call it? The charts.
The nadis?
Like on the ears, like there's different points that correlate on the ears and on the feet with different organs, right?
Yep.
So like you can use one of those charts to know where to apply your essential oils, but mostly like kindergarten terms, up and down the spine, soles of feet. For anything like anxiety, you just need to calm down. You do it right over your heart. You can put it right over your your solar plexus when you need some. I'm just like sounding like a 13-year-old boy right now. Excuse me. So excited. So it just depends where you want to put it. But the easiest way, aromatherapy, apply it over up and down your spine, soles of feet, put it over your heart. If you've got like stomach issues going on, I pop peppermint and digestin all the time. Because post C. diff, like my stomach's just never been the same. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. But it's just my stomach's still very sensitive. So I'll put essential oils right over my abdomen. And it really helps, especially like when you've got your period too. Like clary sage is phenomenal for women. So
that's what I've heard. It's just been hard for me to believe that you can just rub an oil on your belly and it can help with digestion and with cramps and stuff. I don't know why that's hard for my brain.
When you experience it, that's the only way. It's like, because I can tell you, when you experience it for yourself, and you see how your body responds to essential oils. Some people need more oil than others. It depends on your body. No body is the same.
Right.
So yeah, that's a little bit about essential oils. If anybody's interested in learning more, if you go to my Instagram page, you can send me a message and I'll connect with you there. But they're phenomenal. And for boosting the immune system, since that's what we're chatting about today, you know, things like frankincense and thyme and oregano are fantastic for boosting your immune system and fighting off infection. And, you know, there are protocols that you can do Like, for example, if you put some of these oils on the spine, and for 15 minutes you have a nice hot damp towel on your back, or you get a nice hot shower, it sets it into your system. For
Really?
some people, I will tell you, for some, so my kids, um, I do a protocol on them of frankincense, oregano. I'll do doTERRA's On Guard, deep blue, and peppermint. And sometimes I throw lemon in there, depending on what's going on in their body. And I do that hot towel. Sometimes they'll vomit and then they'll be fine. A fever will break, they'll vomit, and it's done. If it's not, you know, stuff like my one of my kids a couple of months ago he got a cold. It wasn't COVID. He had just like sniffles, but he was getting the post-nasal drip, and he got nauseous and it made him vomit. But I had done with him some inhalation, and then I had done this protocol on his spine, and he did vomit, but then he was fine. He was totally fine. It got it out of his system. So
Amazing.
not everybody. I mean, I'm telling you, it's been one time that a child has vomited after doing a thing, but it's the body getting it out of the system. Other than that, it's like totally gentle. So everybody's body responds differently to it. But if your body's got to get rid of something, you know, it may trigger diarrhea. You know, but it's absolutely incredible. But I will tell you that it's one way that you can, if you can like do oil of oregano at the start of something, you will get over it a lot faster. But the thing with oregano is it's nature's antibiotic. Okay. It like strep throat, UTIs, all the things that you would take a medication for, a prescription, you can do an essential oil for. It's safer on the body. It's just as effective. And you're not giving yourself side effects and long-term things after the fact. You still need to take a probiotic with it, just like you would an antibiotic. And after 14 days, you have to stop because it becomes toxic to your liver. So if you do use an essential oil medicinally, you have to keep those kind of things in mind. You treat it like, you know, if you take a Z-Pack and you take it so many days, spaced out during the day with a probiotic, you would do the same thing with an essential oil when you're using it for medicinal purposes.
Wow. So I'm familiar with oil of oregano because back in the day I used to take that for, you know, when I was sick, and I haven't taken that in a really long time. That's one that you do take internally, correct? And do you do that one externally too?
I do.
Okay.
It's a hot oil, so if you've got really sensitive skin, it will burn. So I always tell people with a hot oil, if it's cinnamon or it's oregano, you always use a carrier oil. For those of you watching that don't know what a carrier oil is, it's just putting coconut oil down on your spine, wherever you're putting it. Coconut oil, olive oil, you know, whatever oil you have on hand, you put that down first, and then you put that essential oil on. And if you find that it's still burning your skin, put more coconut oil down or whatever that carrier oil is that you're using, and it'll help reduce the sensitivity. It'll also allow you to spread a lot larger. You get a larger surface area.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go deeper into this, but I also want to say, if you haven't, I don't think you saw it, and also if you're watching this, so I do these interviews. I do them with people who are inspiring to me, people who have helped me in particular in different ways, holistic health-wise, just people I find fascinating that I think my viewers and friends and students would enjoy listening to. So this whole past month has been centered around, or at least threaded through, with essential oils. So I've had my friend, Carrie Keller, she has a chakra line and actually a body skincare line, everything like made with, you know, incredible bases and then essential oils. So this is like what I use before every interview. It's a spray formulated especially for the throat chakra, for speaking and for self-expression.
Wow.
So, and she's a clairvoyant, so she's had to learn like really how to take care of herself and manage her energy internally and externally. That's what got her into oils. So I have her, she was on a few weeks ago. So I always just like, it's just amazing, like how it shifts your being, you know, just
It totally
inhaling.
does.
And then last week I had my dear friend, and she's also been a practitioner, Yona DeFreitas, and she is an aroma point therapist and acupuncturist. So she does all of those things that you were just mentioning about putting him on all of on the points. And she taught us a few different points that day, specifically the feet and some of the ear and the back. So there's more information about, you know, oils from their perspectives too in other interviews if you want to watch those.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the carrier oils and how, you know, like you really don't, it's not necessarily more is more. It's more about a less is more. You don't need 5 drops. It's not better than 1 drop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when you put these all on your back, like what if I live alone? Who's gonna put them on my back? What do I do?
So, okay, there's something called a roller ball, which
Oh,
they're just 15 milliliter bottles.
okay.
They have, actually, wait, let me get one that's already open. They just have a little metal roller on it. You just reach around and you can roll it up and down your spine the best you can. You'll be fine. You don't need to cover every single area. You just, top and then just reach on the back and you'll be good.
So it doesn't have to go to an absolute specific point on the
No,
spine
not when it's
necessarily.
on when it's on
So
the spine.
foot
And
and
honestly,
hands and everything else. Okay.
yeah, and then honestly, with the feet, I just slap that stuff on. I'm like, it goes to your organs. I have my charts for things, but I mean, most of the time it's like, I'm running out the door with my kids. I'm like, hold on a minute, let's get your oils on. I'm not looking, I do know the putting it on the big toe, it gets into your organs really, really quickly that way as well. So I do that, but I don't, my things are in folders. I just have to be able to run and grab it. If you want to sit and be very specific, then you pull out your your book. But most people don't have that stuff. It's like people like you and I are going to have it. We geek out on this stuff.
And there's probably some. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say, like, your normal person isn't going to have this stuff in reference. Just know, like, you can stick it on your body and it will get into your system.
Right. And that's why I like to talk about a lot of universal, oils and practices that, are pretty much, broad, that everybody can probably benefit from. And then there's, of course, some real specifics for specific needs and specific people. But you mentioned, I think I heard you say frankincense, oil of oregano, peppermint, rosemary. So I'm assuming that these are immunity-centered ones.
Yeah, so thyme, oregano, frankincense are some great ones. I use doTERRA's On Guard, which is also a blend. For those of you that are Young Living users, it's like Thieves. Yeah, so same kind of mixture of essential oils there. And those ones are like if I had to choose one oil in the whole world to have, like if I could only buy one, for all the things, it would be frankincense. It's the king of oils. It does everything. It's an antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitic. Like, it does everything. Helps with anxiety, helps with depression, helps get rid of migraine headaches. I mean, you just cannot go wrong with frankincense.
And so on the back regularly with a hot towel?
Depending on what so like, for example, if you've got a migraine headache, what you would do is you would just take your thumb, put a drop of oil, hold it up, soft palate, and it bypasses the blood-brain barrier and gets right up into the brain. You could do aromatherapy with it. Yeah.
Because aromatherapy also straight to the brain, right?
Yeah. You could do it on the base of this, right where your skull meets your neck, the base of your neck.
Right
there. You could put it there too.
Okay.
So, I mean, frankincense is phenomenal for migraine headaches. Lavender, interestingly, is also good for people that have nausea associated with migraines.
That makes sense.
There was a clinical study that was done, and I believe it was 74% of those in the trial that had a migraine headache, and they did aromatherapy with the lavender. It reduced the nausea significantly.
Wow.
Yeah, I like on the scale of like 1 to 10, I don't remember off the top of my head what that number was, like how far down it went, but it was a significant number. For 74% of participants. Yeah. So it's incredible. So you have that tool, which is so powerful. And, then you add in things like colloidal silver, which is so good for boosting your immune system. There's actually, reishi mushrooms are phenomenal for boosting your immune system. Like, really quick, I want to,
maybe we should talk about immunity and what, immune system a little bit just in itself too, kind of how it works, why it's probably important to be ahead of things rather than just like taking stuff when you start to feel sick.
Yeah, because here's the thing is that flu season is not really a season. It's a homeostatic change in your body that's coupled with a decrease in sunlight and an increase of stress. So you cannot go wrong with making the effort to keep your body healthy and giving your immune system what it needs to be fighting off infection. And like your first line of defense is your gut, because that's where your immune system is housed. So I'm always telling people, like,
that's where your immune system is housed, is in your gut.
It's in your gut. This is why when you take antibiotics, some people have something
right,
called
yeah.
antibiotic-induced psychosis. They get a little wacky when they're on an antibiotic. And the reason why is because all of your serotonin is also located in your gut. So when you're taking an antibiotic, it's killing off both the good and bad bacteria, and it's jacking up your serotonin. And when you come off the antibiotic, things start leveling back out. That's why, doctors that are well trained in this stuff will tell you, make sure you're taking a probiotic with your antibiotics, and it will help keep things level. When you're not, people just get a little cuckoo. But it's all in your gut. So taking care of your gut health is crucial to keeping your immune system strong. So, if you
quick questions about the probiotics.
Yeah.
If you're taking the antibiotics, is there a little bit of a protocol? Like, do you just have to wait? I always thought you would take, your antibiotics for a period of time, and then when you're done taking them, you take your probiotics. But you take them simultaneously, just probably not at the same time.
You don't take them at the same time, but you double up on your probiotic for sure.
So you take one at night, one in the morning?
Yeah, okay, so for me, regularly, I take a variety of probiotics for different strains of bacteria.
Yeah, because you have your own special condition.
Yeah, and you have to know how your body works. Some probiotics don't sit well with me at all. At all. So I'll take probiotics in the morning, and then I take a different kind of probiotic at night. If I were a normal person, not having been under the influence of C. difficile, I would, if I were going to take probiotics, I already take a lot of them, I would double up on them. And I would not be taking my probiotic right after taking an antibiotic, because you're killing, you're defeating the purpose.
Yeah, okay.
You need to space it out. You have some hours in between to let your system get the antibiotic through it first.
Okay.
And the thing with probiotics that most people don't understand is that so think of your gut like a garden, right? And you're going to plant cucumber seeds. The cucumber seed is the probiotic. But you still need sunshine and water and fertilizer and all the things that are going to make that seed grow, right? Yeah. Well, that's your prebiotic fiber. That causes that cucumber seed to blossom in your gut. So really, people need both.
Okay.
And this was something, unfortunately, I didn't learn until later in my journey. And I will tell you that my digestion changed for the better after incorporating a prebiotic into my wellness routine. There are prebiotic foods like dark chocolate and asparagus and onions, and garlic. But you think about how much you have to eat to actually get the nutritional benefit from it. Eat the prebiotic rich foods, but most people need to supplement as well. Okay. So even though I eat a diet that's high in those things, I still supplement because I think that is the best thing I could do for my body. And interestingly, with the amount I do, I just took I don't know if you guys watching this have heard of a company called Viome. They test your stool to see the status of your gut. And I got my results in yesterday. And for as much as I do to keep my gut healthy, I was not very pleased with my results. They were okay. They were average. One thing I scored very high in, I scored very low in the ability to digest protein. So I need to research that now. But for the amount that I do, I was like, wow. I can't imagine what people that are not educated in this stuff, how their gut tests would come out. And disease starts in the gut. So now I'm like, all right, we got to up the ante on the routine, change some things out, because what I'm doing is it's great, clearly enough, but it's not enough. And I think part of that is because my gut was wrecked. It was wrecked, and it takes years to rebuild. It's not a fast thing.
Yeah, I mean, you almost died, or you could have died. So, I mean, that is some serious, damage that was done. What is the name of that test or the company that it comes from?
Viome, Viome.
Okay, cool. Okay, God, there's just so much. I want to stay on the subject.
Do you want me to give you some good basics of
like
just immune boosting kind of things that you can do for your system? So, and by the way, if you hear kids, it's because my kids just ran in. And my house is very loud. So the first thing that I think is crucial for people is getting sleep. And most people are not getting enough sleep. Everybody's needs are different, but people recommend 7 to 8 hours. I personally need 9.
I'm a 9-hour sleeper too.
I am a 9-hour girl. I did not get 9 hours last night or the night before, so I am definitely feeling it today. But
Yeah.
your sleep, your body is restoring itself in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone knows when you are not getting a lot of sleep, you're prone to catching whatever is going around. Your digestive system is in like working overtime when you're sleeping to get everything digested. Your organs are resetting themselves. Like it is, you know, your toxins are, you know, everything going through your liver, everything just like your body is working while you're sleeping. And when you're not eating, it's able to get everything through. So sleeping is restorative to your body. It helps heal your body. I encourage people, if you don't have a nighttime routine, just like kids, like we're just big kids with long legs, rare hair, you know, get on a sleep routine. Like you will, if you go to bed at the same time every night, wake up at the same time every day, you know, get the blue light off an hour to 2 hours before you go to sleep so your melatonin can produce.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
you're literally working against yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
How about
you
an
know,
oil? How about an oil for sleep? I mean, I spray
oh,
lavender or that Serenity mix every
yeah,
night before I
lavender's
sleep, but
wonderful. I like to set like a good tip I have is if you do use essential oils, get your diffuser going in your bedroom half an hour before you go to bed. Shut the door.
okay.
So when you go in, it is heaven in that room. Serenity on the feet is fantastic.
Ooh.
Vetiver is really good for sleep. It stinks.
I love
Vetiver,
vetiver. I love it.
I can't stand the smell, but man, let me tell you, for stress and sleep, put it on the soles of your feet as well, and it will really, really help you to get
Nice.
a much deeper sleep.
That is one of the points that my friend Yona in our aromatherapy acupuncture talk. I even had like my foot up here just so that I could show everybody the right spot to where to put vetiver. And I think it was kidney oriented, but she
Yeah,
told me the specific spot for vetiver on the feet.
yeah.
Yeah.
It really, really works for people. And I'll tell you that, you know, when you get yourself on a sleep routine, you're going to naturally start falling asleep at the same time, and you're naturally going to start waking up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And really, and this includes even on the weekend, which is hard for people that are younger and they, you know, they don't have kids. So like they're out, you know, staying out partying a lot later at night, or, you know, just staying up later because they're creatives, maybe they're painting or whatnot. But if you can get yourself like on a regular sleep schedule, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to need an alarm clock because you're just going to start waking up and you'll be refreshed. So you just have to see like when do you naturally wake up. For some people, it's going to be 7.5 hours. You're going to feel awesome. For me, I'm like dying.
Yeah, I'm nine. I'm nine, eight and
I
a
need
half
it.
sometimes, but nine for sure. And then I just feel great. I don't need a nap. Like it's just,
You're
you
good.
know.
You're good.
Hmm.
So the second thing too that you want to do is increase your vitamin D and your vitamin C intake. Most people are vitamin D deficient,
Hmm.
and having a really high level of vitamin D in your body is like it's for optimal immune function. So,
Hmm.
you know, I tell people like, listen, even though I'm a Florida girl, my tests I had a decent level of vitamin D, and I was seeing functional medicine in Miami. I haven't found my new doctor here yet, but you know the doctors there were like, listen, even though you're outside every day, and you know I walk an hour a day in the sun, and you know I like to recharge that way. They're like, you still need to supplement a little bit. So I took a high dosage one. It's
Hmm.
like 10,000 IUIs.
Hmm.
And they also sell ones that you can take once a week that are
Hmm.
extremely high. So that should be something that's a regular for people. Vitamin C, everyone knows that's the, you know, that's the cold vitamin. However, uh, the thing with vitamin C is that, and this is like where there's a big misunderstanding. Most of what's sold on the market is ascorbic acid and not vitamin C.
Hmm.
I made this mistake too. Okay, this is something that you know most people just don't know. You see it's vitamin C, you think, hey, I'm going to take it, and you're taking ascorbic acids. You're not actually getting the riboflavin and the bioflavonoids, etc., in the
Hmm.
vitamin. So, Truvani is a great brand.
Hmm.
They sell the vitamin C. That's a really good one. Garden of Life has a really good one as
Hmm.
well. The other thing too is always, always, always you go back to nutrition. Get your
Hmm.
vitamins from whole food nutrition.
Yeah.
You know, and eat a lot of it. You cannot go wrong. When you're giving yourself
Yeah.
nutrient dense food. And for those of you that do not know what nutrient dense means, it's like the difference between an apple and a bag of chips. A bag of
Hmm.
chips has no nutrition in it,
Hmm.
where an apple is loaded. It's nutrient dense
Hmm.
with all the good
Right.
stuff in there. So
Can I say a couple things about vitamin D
Yeah,
and C real quick?
please.
So surprisingly enough for me, I used to take vitamin D all the time, and then most recently, but there was also summer, I did get tested, and my levels were really high without even being on
That's
um,
awesome.
without being on D. But I also always made it a point to have, good 20 minutes in the sun at high, like high noon almost all the time. But it's easy enough just to get a vitamin D test, is it not? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
or
they
no?
do it in your regular blood test. You can have
Yeah.
that ordered.
But I
Yeah.
don't think it hurts anybody, honestly, to take it. So
No,
I'm
and I think
I'm
it
all for that, especially now, this time of year,
yes,
for
absolutely,
sure.
100%. And then again, getting probiotics into your gut, we already covered that.
Yeah.
Cleaning up your daily diet is going to be crucial.
Hmm.
Again, like we were talking earlier, most people eat the standard American diet, and that's killing people.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to think about too. You've got vegetarians and vegans. There are people that eat a variety of different diets.
Hmm.
You know, vegetarians and vegans are going to need different nutrients being supplemented versus
Hmm.
somebody that's a meat eater.
Right.
But I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole different thing. But
Yeah.
as far as your immune system relies on nutrient dense food to feed it.
Yeah.
Whatever you are eating is what's
Hmm.
feeding the bacteria in your gut, and that bacteria are the soldiers fighting off the bad guys.
Hmm.
So you want to be eating, and 90% of Americans are deficient in some sort of nutrient.
For
That's
sure.
really, really scary. So we've got to think about like the diet, okay?
I want to say one
Racing,
more thing real quick. I'm sorry to
yeah,
interrupt. That's just kind of
yeah,
what I do on my little interviews.
go for it.
Um, so vitamin C, I'm in an addiction nutrition course right now. So a woman who specializes in treating people with PAWS, post-acute withdrawal syndrome, from, smoking, alcohol, opiates, whatever it is. So it's been super interesting to go back into neurotransmitter science and vitamins and minerals and amino acids, what turns what on, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's super awesome. I'm totally just
Oh my gosh,
into,
I want to hear about this.
we're tracking a lot of vitamin and mineral intake every day just by tracking. We're not calorie tracking. It's not that kind of a program. We're just tracking food and seeing basically like how many vitamins, what vitamins and minerals are you know, normally getting, or, not normally getting. And so it's really fascinating to see like how
Yeah.
low most people, even me, like I don't think I eat enough actually throughout the day, surprisingly enough. So that's a side, that's one interesting thing. And she is going to be my guest on the first week of November. She's going to be my interview guest. She's
Oh,
so
cool.
incredibly smart. So you have to tune in for that one. I wanted to say something about vitamin C. So I feel like, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine not long ago, and his son had just done all of this research on, vitamin C, and now all of these studies show that it's all bullshit. Basically, it's not, you can, all of this stuff. It's just a consumer, ploy to sell all these sorts of supplements and all this kind of stuff during flu season. And for me, I'm just like, well, number one, it's most of the stuff in the store that stores is crap. So there's that.
Yeah,
Number
yeah,
two, like vitamin C and all of these minerals, this is like this is body building, immunity creating, boosting.
yeah.
It's not like you come in and take a magic pill once you're sick. Like this stuff wards off sickness, rather than once it's in your system, you kind of have to let some of that shit ride out. I mean, you can shorten the time of it through doing a lot of the stuff that you're mentioning, but you can't just start popping a bunch of vitamin C and expect it to be the answer and have all these tests and research prove that,
Right,
it's all crap. Like
right.
preventative medicine is a hard thing to prove, which, and it's a shame that that's the case, because so many people won't, they debunk it because there's not proof. But
I
then you
hear you.
look at you and you're like, okay, well, there's Carolina. She takes great care of herself. She's, she looks amazing. She has great energy. She knows her body. And like, so clearly it really does do something. You see
And
somebody
I
who doesn't
wasn't
even,
always like that. I wasn't
right.
always like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mom, like, she fed us as healthy as she could. We always had vegetables and salad at dinner. We drank a lot of milk. I mean, it was water or milk. Like, there was no soda in my house. Um, I had a little dessert every night. Like, I eat dark chocolate every day. Like, I love, and I'm like, I am not giving that up, like, ever. It's an antioxidant. It's a prebiotic. Like, I'm not, but it's the dark stuff. It's the good stuff. I'm not eating, Milky Way bars and Hershey's. It's like, I'm eating
Totally.
really high quality dark, it's, 80%, 85% chocolate. Like, it's, very low sugar.
Yeah.
But when I think about, I would eat a package of Ritz crackers every day. I'd eat, man, at school, I'd be hitting the vending machine, and I think about what I ate in college. Oh
Oh,
my gosh. I'm
me
like,
too. Plus,
holy
not only that,
cow.
all of that, plus I put a bunch of drugs in my system too, like alcohol and drugs, plus eating shit for so long. It's amazing what the body can survive.
I
You know, it's
know. I know. So it's like,
amazing.
it's funny because all people are like, wow, your skin looks amazing. And it's like, I drink a ton of water
Mhm.
and I treat my body like a Ferrari. Since I
So
got
great.
sick, I treat my body like a Ferrari.
I love that statement.
And
That's
I'm
so
like,
great.
listen, I have to put champagne in my car, literally. Okay. I also put champagne in my body, champagne food, and supplements. And I will tell you that if you're going to spend money on anything, spend it on high quality food and supplements. You are not wasting your money. You have to look at, you're investing in yourself. Think
Mhm.
about all the money you are saving, not going to the doctor, not
Mhm.
paying for copays, not paying for over-the-counter medications or prescription drugs.
Totally. Yeah. All
You're
of
going to
those
live a
things.
lot longer. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be having an awesome sex life when you're older because you have energy. You feel good. You feel better in your body. You may not be rail thin and have six-pack abs, but man, when you feel good, you radiate and you attract that back to you. And it just
So
pays
true.
off. So like
And
really, yeah.
you're empowered too. You're not putting your health in somebody else's hands, you know? It's just
Yes.
empowering.
Yes, it's very, very, very empowering. Very empowering.
Hey, Carolina, we have like let me see. If anybody has any questions, send them in. We have kind of a lot that I want to get done in 10 minutes though. So,
Okay, bring it on, girl.
regardless. So you started going through the list and I'm not going to interrupt you as you continue going. Sleep, vitamin D and C, and then that I like that biome test that you mentioned before, but what else do you suggest? You mentioned the
So
oil practices earlier, the oil protocol. You should probably list those again. And
yeah. So let me just touch base really quick. So we were on diet.
yeah,
So reishi mushrooms,
reishi.
rose hips, raw garlic, dandelion root, turmeric, ginger. Those are all great things that you can incorporate into your diet to really help boost your immune system. If you want to take care of your gut health, fermented foods are excellent.
Bone broth and fermented foods.
Bone broth and fermented foods, kombucha.
The dandelion root and turmeric and ginger, those and rose hips. The reishi I know I've taken in capsule form.
Yeah.
The rest I've done in tea. Is that what you do too,
Yeah.
or okay?
I think you do that too. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
else do you? How else do you do it? Dandelion root and rose hips and stuff.
Some people, well, you can eat dandelion greens.
Okay. Okay.
So, and then we talk about essential oils. And the other thing too is have more fun. Like people need to have more fun in this world. They need to laugh because stress lower
True.
your immune system.
It's true.
It immediately, think about when you are stressed out at work, you are
Mm-hmm.
not sleeping, you're
Mm-hmm.
miserable, you start getting sick.
Right.
Like there is a reason why we have a weekend. Whether your weekend is Tuesday and Wednesday because you work in medical care, or it's Saturday and Sunday, take time to rest and rejuvenate and have fun. Your relationships are crucial to your health and well-being. Connect with friends. I'm just making friends now, but I've had Zoom dinners with my girlfriends in Miami, where we just have dinner together over Zoom or FaceTime.
Yeah.
I'm like, go for a walk, invite a neighbor, like check in on your neighbors, like do something good for somebody else, play sports, like whatever the thing is that you love to do, pick up an old hobby, even if it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It will help chill you out.
Yeah.
It will help lower your stress level. For a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people right now, we are in unprecedented times. If you need to talk to a counselor, talk to a counselor. It's okay. You're not crazy. Your mental health and well-being is crucial to your physical well-being, your spiritual life. Like, take care of those things. Those are what reduce stress in you. Do not try to do what your neighbor is doing if you don't like it. My husband and I have very different ways of reducing stress. And you know what? Like, you've got to, like, if you're an introvert, getting around a group of people is not going to be stress reducing for you. It's going to be soul sucking,
Mm-hmm.
right? If
Mm-hmm.
you're an extrovert and you recharge by spending time with friends and getting on a Zoom or a FaceTime or whatever you need to
Mm-hmm.
do to feel connected, It's going to reduce your stress. You're going to feel better. So I think it's really important that you know your wiring, and don't be afraid or ashamed to be like, hey, you know what? Having a group dinner tonight of like 4 people in my house, like it's not what's okay for me. Like it's going to make me crazier. Like don't do it. Go for a walk by yourself.
Right.
Take a bubble bath. But we've
Right.
got to have more fun. So
I mean, and studies should prove that it does boost your immune system, you know, positive emotions in the body. So it's another thing that's free.
Yeah.
You know, it's another thing that's free.
I tell people, listen, one activity I have my clients do is they create a happiness list or a joy list. And you write, and my coach taught me this, okay? So this is not my own idea. This is my coach's idea, and I'm sure she got it from somebody else because we all, you know, find out different cool things to do from other people. So she had me list out a list of 10 things that bring me joy that are free and 10 things that cost money. And to make sure you do something off your joy list every day.
Love it.
So whether that's going and like buying yourself some flowers, like don't wait for your man to get you flowers.
Totally.
Buy the flowers yourself, you know? My kids pick me flowers. It makes me so happy. You know, maybe that's like getting your nails done or getting your hair done or sitting and doing some drawing or reading or taking a bubble bath or going for a walk or whatever, watching a movie, like whatever that thing is. Like if you have a list, then you're not racking your brain and it's just like, oh yeah, this is on my joy list today. You know, read a magazine in a comfortable chair by the fire, like whatever it is that's going to help you to get grounded. Like your self-care, especially right now, is so important.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a testament to like how great it is to have a coach. Like so many people don't do it consistently or whatever. They just kind of forget. They go back into old patterns just so quickly. And like a coach, honestly, it's almost like you'll do something if somebody else tells you to do it. So for a period of time anyway. And I just see, just like you, I watch people that I work with completely blossom, their lives change. And a lot of it is because they're learning how to figure out what's fun, what gives them joy. And that's big. So I just feel like that's one of the things that I've really seen people like, you know, we make an agreement that they're going to go do this, this, or this, and they do it and their life changes. You know, all those other things affect too, but fun is a huge one. So thank you for bringing that up. And I love that list. I think everybody should make a free and a, you know, the happiness list. And I think people should work with you. So, yeah. So I want to say that Carolina, you can work with as an integrative holistic health coach. Obviously, she knows a ton about nutrition, different sort of testing, individualized treatment, essential oils, all that kind of stuff. And so they can find you and go ahead.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Carolina R. Marrelli. And I've got a website, equibalancehealth.com. It's EQUI balancehealth.com. That's the best way to find me. If you go to my website, I have a bunch of free resources for you. I've got 5 different things. I've got a whole probiotic and prebiotic guide where I give, you know, because people always ask me like, what probiotics do you recommend? How do I take them? When do I take them? I like take the mystery out of all of it. So I've got that on there. I've got some interesting things on, you know, being able to deal with digestive issues, flattening your belly. So there's some great fun free resources on there. Just pop your email address in and be able to download it there. I've got some different ebooks and things like that may be interesting to people. Some quick reads. So you can find all that on my website.
That's so awesome. I'll put your link in my bio too.
Okay.
And that's really amazing, everybody, to just go on there and see all of her stuff that she's got there available. So that's super cool. I'm going to go on and review that because I've looked through stuff, but I haven't like sat down and like done all of it. And like, so I'm going to do that.
Thank you.
I just think you're super inspiring. Thank you so much for everything. I'm so glad that we're connected and friends and all these things. I look forward to like doing so many cool things together. I think we will.
Yeah. We were so brought together at like the perfect time. It really is amazing. And just both on this mission to help people, you know, such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful thing.
Okay, everybody. So her link's in my bio. Oh, her Instagram page for sure. Follow if you're obviously an Instagrammer, if you're watching this live, she's got good stuff. Great stuff that she posts all the time. So I definitely recommend following her there. And so this is going to be available. It's going to be recorded, posted on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So it's going to be available to share with anybody and everybody. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank
And
you for having
my
me.
name again is Nikki Aiello. You can find me at nikkiaiello.com and talk about recovery coaching, life transition coaching. And now I'm learning so much more about the addiction nutrition that I'm excited to share too. So there'll probably be more of that coming around.
Yes,
So.
and I want to have you as a guest on my Instagram live because of the life quake thing we have talked about. I think a lot of people need to hear, and I want people to know that you exist for people that are dealing with addiction and recovery and whatnot. And it would be good to share that with my viewers too. So I'd love to have you on my page.
I would love to. Let's schedule that.
We'll do it.
All right. Thank you, Carolina.
All right,
I'm going to hang up and then I'll talk to you in just a moment, probably.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.